I know you told me you voted for President Trump. What were you hoping that he would do?
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran.
Pray tell, what exactly were the plans that he had said he was going to put in place that had you so excited that he was going to take care of veterans? What was the indication he gave you from his first presidency?
Can't nobody tell me different. You can actually visibly see that man trying to remove the racism from his response to that woman. What did you think he was going to do? Ma'am, I thought he was going to hurt all the brown people, but the leopard ate my face, and I didn't think it was going to happen, but I really just thought it was going to be the browns that he was going after.
Donald Trump is saying, I told my voters what I was going to do. They knew, and they still supported me. They knew. They should not be shocked. If they're telling you they're shocked, they're lying in your face, because I told them what I was going to do and they said yes. They said, bet, we want that. If they voted for Donald Trump, they voted for selfishness. They voted for no equality. They voted for racism. They voted for, they knew. They 100% knew.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I really do appreciate your love and support on this channel. So on our today's episode, I was so surprised coming across this video of a man who is actually a veteran that voted for Trump. And on this episode now, we are seeing him regretting his vote, saying that whatever is happening is not what he expected. And we all know that the Department of Veteran, or the VA, is or has been going a substantial reorganization with plans to eliminate over 80,000 positions. This includes at least 20,000 veterans who constitute about 25% of VA's workforce. And it's sad that we saw a good number of veterans that actually voted for this. They ignored all the policies. They didn't even bother to look. Even all the times that Trump had shown them that he's actually not for veterans, they still went on ahead and casted their vote for this guy. And now that they are suffering, some of them are actually coming on social media crying. Some of them just have to keep it to themselves. They know they messed up, but they can't come out and say that they're actually regretting their votes. But there's this man who is now like, you know what? I did a mistake. I didn't expect to see this happening. And people are like telling him, you know what, you effed around and now you're finding out. We told you so. You didn't listen. And I'm sure that nowadays people, they don't been like told that they actually effed around. I've seen a number of people getting very angry that people are telling them FAFO, and they're like, why do you have to tell us? Why do you keep on reminding us that we effed around? We know we did, and there's nothing we can do about that. I've seen a couple of people saying that there's nothing, it's already happened, and there's nothing we can do about that. And it's quite sad because even people on the comment section are also telling me that there's some people who actually voted this way and they're complaining. Given another chance, they'll still vote the same way. But anyway, I want us to watch these videos together, guys. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of these videos that you're seeing on your screens. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracie D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Give this video a like and let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. And if you're watching this video and you're a veteran and you voted for Trump, let me know what your take on this. Or still, if you're a veteran watching this video and you didn't vote for this, let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. So let's just dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
I know you told me you voted for President Trump. What were you hoping that he would do?
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran.
Pray tell, what exactly were the plans that he had said he was going to put in place that had you so excited that he was going to take care of veterans? What was the indication he gave you from his first presidency? Particularly when in 2017, he froze federal agencies, which affected the VA for 79 days, What was the reason? To reduce government agencies through attrition, to make the government leaner and more efficient. That's it. No plan. Literally, remove workers and do not replace. Exactly how does that get you your benefits when there's no one there to help you? Not to mention his privatization push, which basically made VA care lower quality, fragmented, and weaker overall. Trump actually downplayed the severity of combat troops' TBIs, traumatic brain injuries that they suffered from, calling them headaches. And finally, something that you guys seem to be like totally blind towards accepting is him calling fallen soldiers suckers and losers, to include prisoners of war like Senator John McCain. May he rest. Why do you think this man gives a fuck about you as a veteran? He has given no indication, in fact, the opposite, that he cares about veterans or doing anything for them.
I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump. Not,
where have you been?
The guy out there working in the trenches, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay a mortgage, trying to pay the bills. It goes against everything I expected when, I voted for him.
So you're not satisfied with what you see?
No. And it doesn't even have to do with anything about me getting fired. I mean, if I had gotten fired as part of the, government, cutting government spending, I would have been fine with that. I can accept that.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, my little Pinocchio.
But he's not delivering on anything he said he was going to do.
What policies? Tell us. What specific policies were you so excited about? Because I don't remember a damn one that he proposed that made any fucking sense. You're not off the hook.
So what's your real game plan? It doesn't make sense to me.
There are some things that he promised to do that he has put in place. I mean, there are executive orders that he's done, that he said that he was going to do. You don't feel like he's lived up to those promises?
I mean, where are the results? I mean, seriously, prices are still going up.
I'm going to say this once more because people don't seem to understand. Number one, the president is not the single biggest factor that affects global and national prices. There are other factors. That is just one. Secondly, your inability to understand why prices go up and down goes to show that you don't fucking get why Donald Trump is terrible when it comes to the economy. He's terrible when it comes to everything, but one disaster at a time.
We're now in the middle of a tariff war with a bunch of countries that used to be our steadfast allies. I mean, how do you make an enemy of Canada? They're right next to us, and they've been one of our premier allies and commerce partners for, seriously, centuries now?
And he did say that he was going to put tariffs in place. Did you just not think that they would be implemented in this particular way?
I didn't think they were going to be put in play in a juvenile way.
I think you could have just stopped at, I didn't think.
I mean, where was the attempt to actually talk to the heads of these other countries? Like, hey, I feel you have unfair tariffs against our products. I'd like to talk about it first. And if we can't work out some kind of resolution, then I feel to protect our people, we need to implement this kind of tariff. There was no attempt at even talking to the other countries.
When has he ever played nice with anyone ever? In his last presidency or outside of it, during his campaigns, when has he ever played nice? When has he ever been professional? Name one instance. I can't with these people. Y'all made your bed. Now you can lie in it.
Can't nobody tell me different? You can actually visibly see that man trying to remove the racism from his response to that woman. What did you think he was going to do? Ma'am, I thought he was going to hurt all the brown people, but the leopard ate my face. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but I really just thought it was going to be the Browns that he was going after. Like, you can visibly see him trying to filter his racist response.
Economy.
But I just believed every bit of shit that flowed out of his mouth instead of opening my eyes and investigating and seeing what sort of a liar and a bullshit artist he really was. So I guess I got what I deserved. Next time, use this, not your ass, to think. And maybe you won't make such a big mistake.
So Donald Trump just admitted something that literally rips apart all the little think pieces of you MAGA supporters and you ex-MAGA supporters talking about, oh, you can't believe what Donald Trump is doing. This man literally stated, you should not be surprised by what I'm doing because I campaigned this. You knew that this is what I was going to do because I told you that this was what I was going to do. So why are you surprised? That's what came out of Donald Trump's mouth. Go and fact check this if you think that I'm lying. Go on MSN.com right now and type in, because the title of this article is Trump says voters unhappy about the economy and his trade war with China should deal with it because, in quotation, they signed up for it actually. This is me reading from the article. So President Donald Trump's tariff policies has sparked fear and uncertainty in the market, clear. But Trump says voters should have expected him to impose these tariffs when they backed him in November. He says, well, they did sign up for it actually, and this is what I campaigned on, Trump said. So all of you guys, you MAGA supporters that were trying to get sympathy and pity because there's certain people now who know you for who you are and for what you voted for, trying to get us and basically gaslight us into believing that you didn't know what you were voting for. This man is literally saying you knew what you were voting for because I campaigned on it. I told everybody that this is what I was going to do, and you guys decided to support me. Now I'm here and I'm doing what I said I was going to do, and you're upset? Not even upset. Y'all are copping pleas. Y'all are copping pleas because you don't want people to know that this is what you knew you were signing up for. You just didn't think that it was going to affect you. And that's where I would want you to be honest. Be honest like the man that you guys supported, because he's coming out here and telling everybody, I don't know why these voters are talking about their surprise when I had been campaigning this. Thank you. At least one of them, even if it's the leader, is honest. You have the cheese lady that was over here lying and copping a plea talking about, oh, I just did it so that I could have cheese for my daughter. I want to be able to afford groceries. Now you can't afford the cheese. Now you can't afford the cheese. I don't know if you could even get the block cheese. You probably aren't even qualified anymore to receive government cheese. You understand? You have people talking about, oh, it's going to make groceries cheaper. Oh, our schools are going to be more funded. How do you feel? Your schools are getting shut down. And now the very place that you decided to move to just so that you would be able to put your kid into that school, it was for no fucking reason. Farmers are not getting funding. All of you guys, he's literally saying, and I hope if you are black and you've had some type of back and forth on whether or not you should, kind of cut certain people off depending on how they voted. This man, Donald Trump, is saying, I told my voters what I was going to do. They knew and they still supported me. They knew. They should not be shocked. If they're telling you they're shocked, they're lying in your face because I told them what I was going to do and they said yes. They said, bet, we want that. That's exactly what happened. Okay? That's exactly what happened. So no longer fret with yourself and going back and forth on whether or not you should keep certain people around you or should they have access to you. Okay? If they voted for Donald Trump, they voted for selfishness. They voted for no equality. They voted for racism. They voted for, they knew. They 100% knew. All of them little think pieces is bullshit. It's performative. They knew.
Seeing people regret voting for Trump is so annoying to me. I thought it was going to be kind of satisfying because it's like, I told you so. We all told you. But it's infuriating because we did tell you, we've been telling you, you had him for 4 years. You didn't realize that it was probably not a good decision. He told you exactly what he was going to do. Professionals said, hey, this isn't going to be good. This is going to negatively impact you. And y'all didn't listen. You still voted for him. We had so many celebrities, so many influencers out here saying, hey, vote for Trump, da 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 da. And now they're all backpedaling. And it's only because it's affecting you now? You didn't care that all these other minorities were being affected, but now that it's affecting you, now you care. Well, lucky for you, we're all just screwed now. So, it's great.
Guys, this man is actually getting what he voted for. The only difference is, and the only saddest part about this is that he didn't know that he was voting to go through this, but he knew in his mind when he was casting his vote, he was voting because he was gonna be saved by his white privilege. And he thought it's only other people from other communities, the black communities and the minorities, that will have to go through the suffering of all these policies that they have actually put in place. And it's sad because everything that has been happening with the new administration was on the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 playbook. And most people, they were like, you know what? This is not going to affect us. It's only going to affect the minorities. And because so many people have been getting used to the right on their white privilege, now that things are happening and all these policies are affecting each one of them and every American citizen, people that have not gone through this before are now suffering and they don't know how to do this life. They don't know how to go about everything that's happening. Now, veterans that are actually suffering don't know how they are gonna survive on this. Some of these people, we know their conditions, we know how they are, their mental condition, their physical condition, their emotional condition. There is a lot that they need from the government, but most forget and went on and voted for this. When they rolled back on DEI, most of them, they didn't understand that they were part of the DEI. They didn't know. And now that people are actually getting all this and all this is happening is when they are realizing and they're like, oh, we really messed up. But they don't want to admit, some of them, that they messed up. They might not come forward and say, I'm actually really regretting my vote, because some of them are actually ashamed of themselves. But some of them are also like, I would rather go this as long as I'm suffering with the other communities. You know, it's crazy, and I don't get to understand like their thinking, because why would you vote for you to suffer along with someone else just because you're afraid that someone else is not suffering and you're not happy and you want to see them suffer? You just decide it's okay for you guys to suffer together with them. Because there is no way you can tell me that these people didn't understand these policies they were actually voting for. It's not ignorance, guys, the way I've been thinking about everything that has been happening. It's because of hate, and because they believed that for so many years, because most of them have been always being saved by the white privilege, they thought that with these policies also this time it's going to save them. Yeah, guys, so the Department of Federal Workforce have been facing reductions, and they have a plan to eliminate over 80,000 positions, which includes 20,000 veterans. That constitutes about 25% of the VA's workforce. And I'm surprised to think did these people actually understand what they are voting for? Because it's also sad that people that did not vote for this, I'm sure there is a good number out of these 20,000 veterans that are going to be eliminated. There is a good number of them that actually didn't vote for this. And now they have to go through this with people that voted for this. It's quite sad. I don't even understand how someone went on ahead and voted against their own self-best interest, because they were okay to see other people suffering and they would rather suffer along with others rather than them seeing everyone doing a better in life. I don't even understand how these people actually think, honestly. Healthcare and research impact. The administration claimed to expand healthcare access for veterans, but internal communications revealed that over 1,000 veterans are losing access to treatments for conditions such as metastatic head and neck cancers, kidney disease, and traumatic brain injuries. Enrollment in clinical trials is halting, depriving veterans of essential therapies. And this is what most voted for. Can we say they didn't know that they were actually voting for this? Because I'd love you to tell me, if you're actually a veteran for Trump or a veteran for MAGA that voted at this time MAGA, I mean in 2024 election, did you understand these policies? Did you go through everything that they were actually talking about? Let me know on the comments section, instead of me assuming that some of you actually voted knowing what they were actually voting in for. Because the reason as to why I'm saying this, there have been the Project 2025, and when I was doing my own research, and it's quite easy nowadays with everything that we have and the technology that we have, it's quite easy for you to understand the policies that your government has for you or in place for you. So Project 2025 policy blueprint includes language urging the draconian cuts to the Department of Veterans Affairs budget as part of the broader effort to slim down federal spending and shift more responsibility to state or private entities. So, two has been reducing disability and health benefits. The plan proposes tightening the definition of service-connected conditions, slashing the number of eligible diagnoses, and automating claims process in a way that almost guarantees higher denial rates for veterans seeking disability payments. And this was on the Project 2025. It would have been quite easy for you to just go on social media, just to go online and get to do a little bit of research and have everything actually brought to you in a way that you can understand. Workforce reduction. Project 2025 calls for massive contraction of federal workforce, mirroring the Trump mask Department of Government Efficiency layoffs at the VA. Plans to cut VA employee headcount back to 2019 levels of 80,000 jobs reflect those very recommendations. Also, like on my research, also said that what that wasn't in Project 2025, some of more symbolic proposals like renaming Veterans Day to Victory Day for World War I and II are presidential initiatives rather than heritage original blueprint. These have been floated directly by the Trump White House and are not detailed in the Project 2025 document. So that is the only thing that was not on Project 2025 that's actually affecting veterans right now. But everything else was on Project 2025. And people had done actually detailed videos explaining the whole 900 pages of Project 2025. But most people are like, this is not going to happen. And some are like, we don't care because this is only going to affect minorities and it's not going to affect us. Some veterans didn't know that some of the services they actually get is or was because of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that so many people were actually happy that there was actually being rolled out by the new administration. They didn't understand that all the benefits that they get from healthcare to so many other benefits was because of DEI. And they chose, we're going to vote for this. And now that they actually did away with everything, is now that most people are realizing that DEI did not only mean the Black community and the minorities in the United States of America. And it was actually put in place to benefit the melanated or the Black community in the United States of America, but they were actually the last people to get any benefits from these initiatives. And now that people are now realizing, they're like, you all effed around and now you're finding out. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. I'm sorry for each and every veteran that's facing this, that actually didn't vote for this. And it's quite sad. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, and until the next episode, bye.